Right, so welcome to this first video of mixing a punk rock song. This one is focused on the drums, so aptly named "How to Mix Drums." What I've got here is this is obviously the first episode in the series. We're going to go through the drums, guitars, vocals, bass, and mixing it all in together. Here we've got just the sound files as like completely raw, straight from the microphone into the DAW, and we're going to go through and mix the whole thing. Well, mix the drums completely in this single video. Everything that I do to it. So yeah, we might as well get started. So we've got four microphones that have recorded the drum kit. We've got overhead right, overhead left, snare and kick. I have got a video showing how I recorded this and mic positions. If you're interested in that, if you're not sure exactly where to put your microphones, I've got a video showing on how to do that. This song I recorded last week using same process. So we've got overhead right. Let's just solo this out. What I'll do is I'll mute these because they're in a group track. So solo this out. Nothing too thrilling at the moment. We've got what else we've got overhead left. It's a bit fuller. It's a little bit further away from the snare, so that's why it's able to catch more. I mean, this one I had above the snare. This one I had to the left. As you look at the drum kit, to the left of the snare. This one actually on the snare, and obviously a mic in the kick. So what I'm going to do first of all, I don't generally do much with the overheads. If I solo these both out, let's have a listen. If we put this let's put them together first, and I'll show you why I've recorded them separately. Alright, so that's how they are normally. If I pan that right, pan that left, listen to the dynamic change that we get in here. Yeah, so it's a bit. It sounds like sounds more like an actual kit rather than just a sound file that you're listening to, I guess. So let's just leave them as like that, and what we'll do is just listen to the snare mic on its own. And you can even hear the kick in that. We will get rid of that. Because for the snare mic, we only want the snare. Now I know the kick sounds absolutely terrible. What I'm going to be doing is taking the signal from the snare, from the kick. So these peaks here, they're the kick. This will be the snare. These little peaks here, that'll be the snare. Still, it's the bleed. So look. Yeah, so what I'll be doing, I'll be showing you how to replace these peaks with a dedicated kick sound. So the first thing, I really do. In any of the songs that I record, I will be mixing the drums first, because obviously that gives me the basis of every song. Will be your drums. You can have a song with just the drums. You can have, and it'll, as long as you've got the drums good. If the drums are terrible, you're going to have a terrible song. I like to lay the foundation first and then build everything on top of that, especially when it comes to the volume. So let's go from the beginning. At the beginning, what we've done is we've put these left and right. I'm going to leave them as they are at the moment. For the snare, let's mute absolutely everything, solo this out, and what have we got? Now I want to be capturing just this peak here. This is just the snare. So I've got an app, I've got a VST called Reason. It's from the Reason, the Reaper, Reaper plugins. We've got Reaper Gate. Now, this is a wicked little VST here. Now, there'll be a green bar here, look. Now, those peaks where it jumps up, that's the peak. What I want to be doing is only capturing that peak. So let's take this up. Right, yeah, so that seems to be capturing all of these peaks, which is lovely. So that's it. That's exactly what we want, really. We are going to add some effects to this to make it sound a little bit better. But what we want, really, because what we're getting the snap and the punchiness from this part here, and we're going to get the rest of it from here. So even if we just play these three together, there's more. You can get more of the snare sound when this one's activated, which is just the snare. You know what I don't want is I don't want the bleed from the hi-hats. So next what I would do is I would add an EQ. Where are we going, Mr. EQ? I'm in the wrong bit, that's why. Let's just pretend I'm not an idiot. There we go. What I'll do is I'm going to get rid of these excess ones. Bye. I'm sure there's a quicker way to do that, but that'll do. So mute these bad boys again. Listen to just this. Let's loop it as well. Let's get rid of that. So I have no idea where I'm going here. I want to be going about there, don't I? Oh. That will do. Okay. What I'm doing here is I'm just getting rid of the frequencies that I don't like. That's all I'm doing at this stage. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to reduce it that much. I'm going to reduce it by about 3 to 4 dB, anywhere in there. And what I might do is get rid of some of the low. Shall I? Let's have a listen to what it sounds like. The best way to do a low shelf on anything really is to take it up until it starts to sound different and then dragging it back. So let's have a go. That sounds about right. I think the body of the snare, I might narrow this up a little bit, shall we? Yeah, that might be okay. Let's just pretend that I did all this properly, shall we? Right, yeah, I don't think there's anything else in there that I don't like. So, put that back. Get rid of that. Lovely. I'm just getting rid of this lot. So this is what it sounds like with and without. So with. Very little difference in there at all, isn't there? Bloody hell. it seemed to make sense at the time. I just can't hear it right this second. So that'll be okay. What else do I want to do to this? For now, I might add a little bit of reverb. What I'm going to do, because I've bussed this, I've group tracked it all. I am going to be adding a VST in here that will merge it all together. So I might wait. To do that. What I am going to do, the final thing that I am going to do, 100% is compress. Mono compressor. I want the snare to be right in the heart of things. I just want to make sure that this is getting that roll as well. And what I don't really want to. Maybe I'll drop it down by about 2.5 ish. That'll do. So it's only not giving me. Probably giving me about a 3 dB drop anyway. So, and I want a really quick release on it, and a medium attack. I don't want to change it too much. I just want it to sharpen it up. They're all very much the same volume anyway, but that's just in case, you know we have got some bits that are louder than others, and it's just so it's not peaking when I start to do the volume mixing. What I might do is just so with most punk rock, you have like the snare and the kick very prominent. You can't really, so you can hear it if you listen for it, but they're not in your face. Your overheads or everything else. The main cruxes of the drum kit are the snare and the kick. So we're going to really highlight these two. That's why we're not really doing much with these. We're going to let VST that we're going to put in here on the group track just merge it all together. So we're going to merge these two with the main elements. So for snare, really, as long as that's not peaking, yeah, it's nowhere near it. So got loads of headroom there. Now, kick wise, what I do with kick, again, get rid of these, is as I mentioned, we're going to change this signal to, what are we doing? We're going to use that same. There's the way to do this is, all we want to do is get just this signal above my cursor. Really, we don't want to be getting these at all. We want to cut this out. So we're going to use a gate again, and for visual stimuli, we are going to use regate. So if we mute these, so these peaks are obviously where the kick is hitting. And what I'm doing is I'm making that go far and beyond. I'm making it as loud as I possibly can, because it doesn't matter at this stage what it sounds like, because as I said, I'm going to be replacing that signal with using this VST called container. All these VSTs are completely free. So we turn it on first. I'll whack the gain up as well, because again, it doesn't matter how loud this is. After the gates, it's only going to make the signal above this line. It's only going to enhance that signal, not this signal. So it's not getting any of the snare in there at all. Do that, and then what we do here is we choose a sound. So we turn it on, choose a sound. What we're going to do is, I like to choose two different sounds here. It depends on what kind of sound you're going for, but punk rocky sound I like. It's not quite just the rock. Like if you listen to like Blink stuff, they're very like it is very much a rock kick, really. If you listen to something like NoFX, there's a different kind of kick in there, but it's because it's a little older and it's the way they record it, really. So what we're going to do is we're going to look in here. Is it in here? It's not in here. I've moved them somewhere. Where have I moved them? I think it's actually, yeah, here we go. Kicks, acoustic, I like 7, I think. So I have 7 first. So listen, we're going to see what it does. So every time there's a peak here now, that's getting cut off by regate. And anytime it peaks, the replacer is replacing it with this file that we've got, this WAV file. Which is why we didn't care that this is clipping, because we just want the signal. We just want an on-off, you know. So that's an okay sound. A little bit too dead for me. So what I like to do is add another layer to the sound. Go here. I have a loose kick, and I think I used to use loose kick 7 as well. Turn it on. I'm just going to turn this layer off quickly. Go back in, just listen to this sound. Yeah. So I'll turn the pitch down a bit. I'll listen to both of them at the same time, and it should sound a nice mix between the both. Okay, so I've turned this first kick that we had. Let's turn this one, the second kick, off so we can hear it. It stops very abruptly. I don't really like that. So I've turned that one up to be the main one, but then we've obviously got the this one running in there, which has a little bit of tail on it. Let's turn it back on, but at a lower volume. That sounds alright. So what we'll do is we'll mix it to taste with the other two tracks as well, really. Okay. Oh, what if I just moved that? There we go. Okay, let's get a soft part of the kit. Oh. So of course I've got this grouped, I can control the volume without affecting the mix, and yeah, I think I quite like the mix, the volume between the overhead snare and kick. can maybe go up a little bit actually. Right, so I mean that sounds alright at the moment, but what we're going to do now is going to really mould it all together. So there's a VST I used to use for guitar called Guitar Rig 5. You may have heard of it. There's a free demo version. Well, I say demo version. It's free. It's limited version, which is this version. Everything I'm using here is free. I used to use it for guitar. However, I have created this, which sounds amazing for drums. What you want to do is you want to put in left and right if you are doing this and all. And obviously that will take the left and right signal, so it won't turn these into mono. Actually, I think what it will only do, it will only take the left signal. It will only take this one, it won't take this one at all. But let's do that. So it's taking both, and let's listen to it now. Right, so I'm going to do a before and after comparison. So let me explain exactly what I've got going on here. I have crossover channels here and here. Shouldn't have clicked that. I've done this before. I don't know how to. There we go. That'll do. So basically, this is me saying I want the low frequencies to be compressed and have a noise gate on them, and I want the high frequencies to have a little bit of delay and a little bit of EQ on them. And I can choose what the low frequency and what the high frequency is by here. And I can also choose the crossover and left and right. And really, for drums, you don't want to be panning them. I mean, you've already got the overhead right and left panned there, so you don't really need to be panning these at all. Because otherwise, that will send all the low frequencies, let's just say, to the left, and that will, send all the low frequencies to the right. You don't want that at all. But what you can do is choose by how much of the frequencies you want to be listening to. So if I play it and just move this around, you'll understand. Anything underneath this is for the whole lot. And actually that reverb is off. Let's see what that does on. No, I don't like it. Don't like it. Get rid of that. Because I am going to be adding a bit of reverb on the master bus, which will glue the whole track together anyway. So that is really all I do when it comes to the drums as a starting point. It's a good starting point. Nothing's clipping, everything's quite low, so that way I've got headroom to turn stuff up as needed be. I think that's a good starting sound. That's good. So what I'll be doing is I'll be mixing this, and then I'll mix the guitars, bass, and vocals, and then I'll be mixing them all together. I think I'm going to be doing them all in different videos. Really. So this would be the drums, obviously the drums video, and then we'll mix them. Well, yeah, by the end of it, we should have a half decent track. But that's all I really need to do. I mean, I don't really see any need to do any overheads because they're quite low down and they're almost filler sounds, just to give you a bit of dynamic. So you know, if you do move across the toms and using different symbols like left and right, you the listener gets that in their left and right headphone. If they, you know, or in their car or whatever, they can hear that moving around as if they're watching the band. Or and the snare, obviously you want that independent of these, so you can punch it through. You can really hear it then. I mean, and the same with the kick, really. And what I'll be doing is, as I choose the like change up these guitars, I'll be turning this out, that out. I still will be twiddling about, but it's a good starting point. So I hope that helped you with what I do with my drums. What I'm going to do in the next video is have a look at the guitars. I'm going to show you how I recorded them um, briefly, and because I will do a separate video on recording, but this is mainly the mixing. This is the mixing series, really. So we'll do that, and we'll mix in the guitars, and then we'll mix in the bass, mix in the vocals, and then we'll mix it all together, and then we'll have a mastering video, and then we'll be done. We'll have a finished song. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.